Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Stando TV. Have you been like me and been really frustrated every time Windows 10 puts out an update because it breaks your games or it breaks the way that you stream your games using OBS or various other types of things? Well, you're not alone, and apparently a lot of people have been experiencing this. A matter of fact, according to NVIDIA forums, gamers have been experiencing frame rate drops and stuttering in various games like Overwatch, Rocket League, Battlefield 1. Even on high-end machines, it should be able to handle the aforementioned titles with ease. Myself, I have an i7 4790S. It's GTX 970, 12 gigs of RAM. I should be running these games no problem, right? And all of this is going back to these Windows 10 updates. And the biggest problem here lately is the Creators Update that was released back in April earlier this year being a huge part of the problem. And it's supposed to have game mode, which is supposed to make performance of your games even better. A Microsoft engineer has finally acknowledged the issue on Feedback Hub, and he says, quote, "Thank you everyone for providing feedback and submitting traces. We have been analyzing the traces from your feedback and have identified several different problem sources surfacing as stutter in games. We have a fix for one of them in Windows Insider build that flighted to the fast ring build 16273 and above. You can find instructions on joining the Windows 10 Insider program, and I'll put a link to that actually in the description box, so make sure that you're checking that. We are actively investigating the remaining stutter causes and appreciate your patience on this issue." It is important to note here that the build that he's talking about was released to insiders near the end of last month and supposedly includes fixes to only one of the issues identified by Microsoft engineers. That said, gamers will be pleased to know that Microsoft has launched a full investigation in order to determine the other sources of the problem. How about all the crap that is running in the background? That is a huge problem. Never before in any other operating system has the operating system been so nosy and intrusive with all the shit running in the background. And I have had problems, great deal of problems, not only just trying to get certain games to work sometimes, but streaming them as well because of certain programs and processes running in the background that eat up bandwidth. This talks about game mode. This is talking about the included DVR. When you've got Xbox DVR and all the Xbox stuff being crammed in, trying to make this not an open source program for other clients like Steam, Origin, Uplay, and things like that. You're trying to draw everything into Xbox and make that the one thing, and it is hurting open source users. That's the problem. However, we're supposed to be pleased to know that Microsoft has launched a full investigation in order to determine the sources of our problems. However, the fall Creators Update just around the corner. It is likely that any fixes that Microsoft develops will be made available in the feature update rather than a cumulative update at any point. So we'll have to just wait for the fall Creators Update. Microsoft has went on to further detail the situation by saying, "We are aware that Windows 10 gaming performance specific feedback that's being addressed in a current Windows Insider build 16273 surrounding games and hardware drivers. Before releasing new Windows versions, we thoroughly test with the Windows Insider base to ensure performance and stability improvements for customers. The vast and consistently growing mix of hardware, software, and driver configurations in market ensures we work closely with hardware partners to build and deploy updates that deliver performance and stability improvements. Both automated telemetry and the customer feedback tool aid future updates. In this case, we're working with hardware partners and using the Windows Insider program to test upcoming updates towards delivering continued performance and stability updates for gamers. We encourage gamers to continue submitting feedback and attach short captures reproducing a problem for a game performance regressions. We also communicate updates and follow-ups to your feedback via Feedback Hub, so stay tuned once you submit." So like I said, guys, basically, unless you're an insider, which you can become an insider, you can become a beta tester, we are going to have to wait probably until the overall fall creative update which is just, it just sucks. See, this is what happens when there's only one go-to operating system. People say, well, you can do Linux and stuff. Who games on Linux for real though? I'm not being snarky. I'm being honest here. Who does that? It wouldn't be so bad, except like I said before, there is so much running in the background that you need to manually disable to get everything to work properly. And what's unfortunate about that is, as soon as the next update comes, some of the things that you disabled to make your system run better are automatically turned back on. It's an ongoing problem and struggle for some people. And I just, for a long time, I was blaming me, I was blaming the computer, I was blaming ISPs, and it turns out from Microsoft coming out and saying, oh, we've got issues. No shit, you've got issues. Fix them, please. If it's not necessary, we don't need it. And I understand one of the biggest problems with Windows 10 is how it's meant to go across so many devices, not just desktops, but certain laptops and certain tablets and phones, and it's trying to do too much. We need a specific version of Windows 10 or of the operating system for each device, not a one-size-fits-all thing. Because when you have a one-size-fits-all thing, you've got a lot of code in there, you've got a lot of processes in there that are just unnecessary, and they're making things bogged down, and that's the problem. That is the huge problem. And I can preach that to the mountaintops, but you know, Microsoft isn't going to hear that. You know, they're just going to try to focus and see why, you know, they look at the short-term fix instead of the long-term fix, and that's what this is kind of telling me. That, I mean, hopefully they get it right, but I doubt it, because I can see it as the overall problem. I don't know about you guys, but I see it. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And if you like the video and you like the rant, don't forget to leave me an emoticon of some kind. Until next time, guys, remember that I love your face. We'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good one.